In the remote heart of Central Africa, cloaked in mist and mystery, lies a forest echoing with ancient calls, a place where some of the world's last giants walk the earth. Among these towering trees, life thrives, but not without struggle. And it's here, in the shadows of human greed and hope alike, that this story begins. This is not fiction. This is the real-life journey of Isangi, Lulingu, Mapendo, and Ndjingala, 4 eastern lowland gorillas, survivors of a brutal system that trades life for profit. They were taken as infants, ripped from their families, from mothers who likely died defending them. They were victims of the illegal wildlife trade, trafficked as if they were souvenirs. But they are not objects. They are sentient. They are emotional. And somehow, they are still here. Most gorillas stolen from the wild do not survive the journey to market. Many die within days, from shock, dehydration, infection. But these 4 endured, and not only that, they would soon reclaim their birthright, freedom. Their path to recovery began at GRACE, the Gorilla Rehabilitation and Conservation Education Center. Tucked deep in the Democratic Republic of Congo, GRACE is not a zoo, it's not a display, it's a lifeline. Here the healing begins slowly, not just for their bodies, but for their minds. Because gorillas remember. They remember the sounds, the smells, the fear. And yet, they also remember love, touch, belonging. The caregivers at Grace speak the language of patience. They observe, they mimic, they gently reintroduce natural behaviors, climbing, nest building, social grooming. Simple acts, yes, but essential to a life in the wild. Most critically, Grace doesn't isolate, it reconnects. These gorillas were integrated into a surrogate family, one they chose, one that gave them the social structure needed to thrive. For years, they were given space, safety, time, the rarest resources in conservation. And then, after nearly a decade, came the moment conservationists had waited for. A site was prepared, Mount Chiaberimu, part of the legendary Virunga National Park. Remote, protected, sacred ground. The gorillas were crated, not caged, transported with care and respect. Every step was monitored, every breath counted. They were returning to the wild, but not blindly. This was planned, calculated, and full of heart. For the first time in their lives, they could choose where to go, what to eat, where to sleep, who to trust. And as their feet touched the forest floor, as they looked around and inhaled that humid, earthy air, a silence fell. Not fear, not confusion, but something deeper. It was as if they recognized it, as if deep inside their bodies remembered what their minds had long been denied. The rhythm, the canopy, the wild. It was still there, waiting, and they were ready. Weeks passed, then months, and with each passing day, the forest embraced them. They began forming daily patterns, waking early, foraging together, exploring terrain both foreign and familiar. No GPS, no guides, just instinct. And the signs were clear. They were adapting. Grooming rituals emerged. Nest building became second nature. Vocalizations increased, not cries of fear, but sounds of communication. They were not surviving. They were living. Their social bonds held strong, a testament to the years of group integration at GRACE. And more than that, they were teaching each other, Isangi, the eldest, led by example. Lulingu, playful yet cautious, learned the terrain with measured curiosity. Mapendo, once traumatized, began to relax. Ndjingala, the smallest, stayed close, never far from a gentle touch or watchful eye. What we witnessed was not just reintegration, it was reclamation. These gorillas were reclaiming something sacred, not just land, but identity. This is the power of long-term conservation. It's slow, it's expensive, it's often invisible, but it works. Because when you give animals time, when you give them trust, they show us who they truly are. These 4 gorillas remind us that every life matters, that no creature is beyond saving, that even in the face of unimaginable loss, there can be healing. But their story also reminds us this is the exception, not the norm. Thousands of gorillas still face extinction. Habitat is shrinking. Poaching continues. The illegal wildlife trade adapts, and every year, more infants are stolen. That's why we share these stories, to light a spark, to educate, to shift perspective. Because if we can care for just 4, we can care for 400 or 4,000. You can be part of this movement. Support organizations like GRACE, Virunga National Park, and the rangers on the front lines. Raise your voice, share this video. Challenge conversations about wildlife, captivity, and ethics. These gorillas were once statistics. Now they are symbols. Symbols of what happens when humans choose compassion over convenience. And so, as the forest echoes with their calls, and their shadows move among the trees, we're reminded, nature never needed us. But now, it needs us more than ever. This has been Untamed Behavior. If this story touched you, subscribe, not for numbers, but to stay connected to what truly matters, to the stories worth telling, to the lives worth saving. Until next time, stay aware, and above all, stay wild.